There's no doubt that The Legend of Zelda is my favorite video game franchise, with awesome games like Link's Awakening to the upcoming Zelda U, and even spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors. There's almost nothing about the series I don't like. Almost nothing. Yeah. To celebrate Majora's Mask 3D being released for the Nintendo 3DS and the other 3DS, I'll be talking about the beta of the original Zelda game. The game started development with the title Adventure after the game with the same name for the Atari 2600, which has been credited as the first action-adventure game. The game's title was renamed Hyrule Fantasy: The Legend of Zelda in Japan and was shortened into simply The Legend of Zelda everywhere else. The name Zelda came from Zelda Fitzgerald, the wife of the famous author Francis Scott Fitzgerald, whose most famous work being The Great Gatsby. The name Link came from an early idea for the game. Originally, the pieces of the Triforce were originally going to be electronic chips that would send Link back and forth between the distant past and the distant future. Originally. Since the main hero of the game was a link between these timelines, Shigeru Miyamoto named him Link. Link, being left-handed, came from Miyamoto himself being left-handed. Link's design was influenced by that of Peter Pan, as Shigeru Miyamoto loved Disney movies growing up. Peter Pan will continue his influence across future titles in the series, most notably how Link and Peter end up fighting their own shadows at one point, and they're both occupied by a fairy. The dungeon exploration came from Miyamoto's childhood memories of exploring a forest, lake, and a cave in Kyoto, Japan. The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. Started development around the same time, the primary focus being that the two games would be the exact opposite. Super Mario Bros. Would be a linear game, while The Legend of Zelda would focus on exploration. Because of how complex the game was for its time, Nintendo of America President Minoru Arakawa was hesitant on releasing the game in North America. Despite the fact that playtesters were really interested in the game, Minoru was still unsure as to whether he should have the game translated, as it took the playtesters roughly 10 hours to understand the game as it was all in Japanese. Early in development, players had the option at the beginning of the game to either take the sword or the boomerang. It's unknown why this was dropped, but my theory is that Nintendo realized that swords are awesome. A noteworthy technical aspect about the game is that all the dungeons in the game fit together like a puzzle, possibly as a way to save the limited space the developers had with the NES cartridge. One gameplay mechanic that was removed during development was multiplayer. While most games at the time had players taking turns, this game would feature a different type of multiplayer. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to take advantage of the Famicom's ability to rewrite data, so he experimented with the idea of building the game around dungeon creation. Player 1 would create a dungeon for Player 2 to explore. Playtesters, however, felt that actually playing the dungeons was more fun than creating them, so the multiplayer was dropped. That's all for today, but don't forget to check out the other game galleries, some of which talked about other Zelda games, namely the beta of Majora's Mask, the cancelled expansion for Ocarina of Time called Uber Zelda, and a cancelled fan game Ballad of the Windfist, which I'm still very sad that it was cancelled. You got the trivia from the gaming gallery, and until next time, get it to you. Oh yeah.